2, testing. Doing fine. Pray that the Lord has blessed you tremendously. Sister Cheryl gonna fix me, so y'all, we all right. She gonna fix me. She always do. Amen. Praise be to God. Good to see all of your smiling faces. How many of y'all got the outline? Y'all remember where we started from, where we ended last week? Y'all remember that? Okay, all right. I just want to make sure I'm right. We stopped on number 2, right? Amen. Let's pray. Gracious Father, how we love and thank you so much again for this another opportunity to be let down into the deep treasures of your word. We pray, oh God, that even as we live this Christian life, at times, oh God, our tank goes empty. We feel the void and the pressures of life that seem at times overloading and overwhelming. But we ask, oh God, even as we study your word today, that you help us to transfer our heavy load and burdens onto you, knowing that you can carry every single load that comes into our life, whether it be our finances, our family, our children, our jobs, what's going on in the world. You can carry the load. You said for us to cast all our cares on you because you care for us, and we're so grateful for your care. We love you. Give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. All right, y'all remember the 10 reasons that we gave you? We're in the series about strategies for stressful times, and we gave you 10 reasons, why we run out of gas. Y'all remember that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I don't need to go back, but if you haven't been here, the first one was not starting out with a full tank. 2 was being too busy to stop and refuel. This is in life and on the road if you ever ran out of gas. Ignoring the owner's manual and pushing my car farther than it was created to go. Being unaware, 4, of the hidden leaks that are draining us. And those hidden leaks, I'd like to hit that again real briefly. Those hidden leaks, things like criticism, disappointment, frustrations, grief, all of those things that could, they're hidden leaks. We don't see it all the time and don't understand it. They can overload us or drain us of our spiritual fuel. And those are hidden leaks in our life. 5, being in a hurry. You can run out of gas when you're stepping on the pedal, and the same is true with our soul. We're going, and never pause for a moment, to refuel. 6, not paying attention to my gauges. We're not looking at the gauges in our life, and there are gauges that indicate that we are running on empty or running low, such as irritability. Sometimes we think, I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. No, there's some stuff going on, and we get irritable, and we got all this stuff on us, and maybe that's just me.
No, that's all of us.
That's all. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure I wasn't in here by myself. Our sleep pattern, we can't sleep, and our health, our attitude, even our generosity is a gauge. We stop being generous with our time and our gift when we're running on low. Worship attendance, we don't want to come to church. So those are gauges we got to pay attention to. 7, being overloaded. We're carrying, the load is heavier. It's almost like we're carrying 7 boats behind our car. And, when you're carrying a heavy load, the heavier the load, the more gas you use. And in our life, we're carrying all these heavy loads. And we got tank don't apply to me. We think we can handle everything. And the truth is we can't. Our tank can only hold so much. Somebody say amen. Yeah, I can't handle all that. I get drained. It does apply to us, all of us. Number 9, not knowing where to find we used to call it a filling station. Amen. Not knowing where to find the gas station. And number 10 is not knowing how to refill my tank. Not knowing where to put the gas in. My dad for years my mom would never fill up her tank. My dad did it. And so when it came time for her to do it on her own, she was almost at a loss, trying to figure out where the tank is, how do I put the gas in, all of that, because my dad did it. When she would come home he would go fill up the tank, and she didn't have to do it. He wanted a certain octane in his car anyway, and he felt my mama wouldn't do it, and so he did it. So may have been reasons why, but she didn't have to do it. But not knowing where it is. So how do we keep our tank filled? The first thing we talked about is what Jesus said out of Matthew 11. If you're tired and carrying heavy burdens, come to me. If y'all remember that, I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in spirit, and you will find rest for your soul. The yoke I share with you is easy to wear, and it makes the load light. Y'all know that verse out of the ESV, come to me all who labor and are heavy laden. That is the same verse. That ideal of if you're tired of carrying your heavy burdens or your load, he says the first thing to do is that we've got to be fed up with how we're feeling. We got to be fed up. Y'all remember that. Dissatisfied, tired of being overloaded, all this stuff poured on us, and we trying to carry that load. We got to become dissatisfied with that. Until we get desperate about carrying the load, nothing really happens. So we talked about the 3 things that changes people: pain, perspective, and you have no other choice. Our back is up against the wall. Pain will change us. Perspective, right perspective. We've been talking about that, looking at things from God's perspective, and that'll help us to change, trying to carry all this stuff. Pain will do it, but then when your back is up against the wall, like Jonah was in the whale, he had no choice. He had to change. And the lost boy, we talked about that as well. So we went up to, in that same verse, out of Matthew 11, the second thing we talked about was to come to Jesus. We gotta get to the place to where we're fed up with it, are dissatisfied with trying to carry the load ourselves. So Jesus says, come to me. If you're tired and heavy laden, he says what? Come to me and I'll give you rest. Y'all remember that? Yeah. So that's the second thing we got to do. We got to come to Christ. We got to take it to him. If we're tired of carrying the load, and I'll give you rest. And he doesn't say I'll give you rules, regulations. He doesn't say that I'll give you rituals and all that. He says, come to me and I'll give you rest. The ideal is, and that is an antidote for our, if we're running on low, if we're overloaded, the antidote is to come to him, and he will give us rest for our what? Souls. Not physical rest, but spiritual rest. Not physical rest, because we can get that. We know how to take a nap when we're tired. Hello, somebody. And he's not going to give us a program or philosophy. He gives us himself. And he says that all those who come to me, I will not reject. I'm going to give you what you need. I'm going to give you rest. And because we're not overloaded, our muscles are not overloaded. Our mind is. We need rest for the soul.
Anybody ever, your mind just keeps turning and turning and turning with all this stuff that we're trying to carry, and you can't sleep, you're eating wrong. That's when we pull out the pralines and cream and, top it off with some strawberry sauce or caramel sauce, and we at the midnight hour just, diet is wrong, just stressed out with all this stuff, and can't sleep. And when we get that way, the world says, I got to get away. It's almost like Southwest Airlines. You ever want to get away? But we said last time that only God can give us rest for our soul. Amen. Not getting away, not going somewhere. Culture says you got to go get away. I got to get to Paris or France or on the Cayman Islands or somewhere, or Jamaica or somewhere, and get my rest. And that is, that's a good thing. We do need to get away, get our rest, all that good stuff. But we talking about rest for the soul, and if we want rest for the soul, we gotta come to Jesus. He's the one that gives us rest from the soul. Because when we get back from Jamaica, all that stuff is still gonna be there. And the same feelings that we had before we left is going to come right back. After we get back from Puerto Rico or wherever it is that we go on vacation, if we don't come to Jesus and give it to him, come to me, all who are laboring and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. And he says that rest is for the soul. So he doesn't nag us. He doesn't judge us. He said he's going to give a rest. So number 3, that's where we left off. But number 3 is this, that if we're going to figure out how we're going to refuel our tank, number 3, write this in that blank, we've got to give up control. Give up control. He says, come to me, all you who are tired and are carrying a heavy burden. Come to me, and I will give you rest. He says, take my yoke upon you. Y'all see that? Take my yoke upon you. One of the reasons why for overload in our life is because we try to control everything. Amen. Hello, somebody. And we don't realize how much we try to control it. Try to control our kids, try to control our family, grown kids on top of that. Trying to control our family, the job, stuff on the job. And we feel as if we got to hold it all together. It's all on our shoulders. We got to make it happen because it's all on our shoulders. And the greater need to control things, the more overloaded and stressed we become. Can I say that again? The greater need to control things. The greater need to make sure we're handling it all. The more overloaded and stressed we're going to be in our life. And so we got to learn to give up control. Are y'all with me? Take my yoke upon you. Get fed up, come to Jesus, give up control. What is he talking about when he says take my yoke upon me? What does he mean by that? Link up with him. I like that. What else? Let him lead and guide. Yeah. A yoke, listen, is a wooden frame that you put over 2 farm animals, possibly, and they work together. Hello, somebody. When you take 2 cattle, they're going to pull a wagon. It ain't one. You put a yoke on it, it's trying to pull. It's 2 of them pulling the load. And when you talk about a yoke, I know that don't sound relaxing. You're talking about we overloaded and I got a yoke on my neck. We got to realize that we already carrying too much anyway. And if we put the yoke on, his yoke on, hello somebody, he going to help us carry that load. Instead of it all being on our shoulders, we're being the only one trying to pull that thing, pull the load of our life, load of our children, load of our siblings, load of our job and our finance. We trying to pull it. But what if we linked up with Jesus? Hello, somebody. Put his yoke on and listen, that load automatically becomes lighter. We've come to him and we got to put on his yoke. We got to release control of that thing. The purpose of a yoke is to lighten the load for the one who's carrying a heavy load. If I'm yoked up with two, not just me, but I'm yoked up with him, and who better to be yoked up with than the one who has all power in his hand? Are y'all with me? So when I learn to release control, I don't have to control it all. And I don't mean this like I'm saying it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Some of us are control freaks.
Amen. That's right.
We can't let it go.
Let go and let God.
Yeah, that's what we used to say. Let go and let God. But we let it go for a minute. We pick that thing right back up. Hello, somebody. Jesus says, yoke up with me, and I will help you carry that load. It lightens the load. It doesn't make it harder. It lightens the load when we come to Jesus, put his yoke on. And the truth is, he don't have a load. He want to help us carry our load. He God. He ain't got a load. He's God all by himself. He got all power. He can blink and something happen in the world or the universe. And it ain't hard for him to do what he do. Hello, somebody. He is an all-powerful, all-sufficient, all-knowing God. He doesn't need anybody to help him. Hello, somebody. And yet he says to us, yoke up with me so I can help you carry that load. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
And he says, he got the nerve to say, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. His yoke is easy and his burden is light. He said, I ain't dumping more on you. I'm trying to take something off of you. Hello, somebody. When I learn these principles, I sleep well at night. I like the way the New Living Translation says of that verse. He says, my yoke fits perfectly. Hello, somebody. It's not uncomfortable. His yoke is not painful. His yoke is not rough on us. Hello, somebody. It fits perfectly. That sounds like a symbol of partnership. I'm partnering with God so that my load is lighter. Cast all your cares upon him. Why? Because he cares for us. Give it to him. And the truth is, we weren't meant to go through life carrying our own load by ourselves. We weren't meant to do that. And we take all that stuff on us, but we weren't meant to carry that by ourselves. Amen. Right. And we do ourselves more physical, mental, and emotional harm when we're trying to carry a load that we can't even change if we wanted to. I'm going to play my violin right here because y'all done got quiet on me. We mentally carrying a load that we weren't meant to carry. And we do ourselves more harm. We frustrated and irritable and angry and all that good stuff. I'm going to give it to Jesus. Hello, somebody. And he'll take from you. He'll share in that load. And I like the way is that on your verse? Psalms 55 and 22. Is that there? You there? Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. He said, here's what ESV says before I read that. Cast your burdens on the Lord, and he will sustain you. Do y'all get that? He will never permit the righteous to be moved. The message says, pile all your troubles on God's shoulders, and he'll carry your load and help you out. He said, pile it all on him. Are y'all getting that? We got these challenges and stuff that's overloading us mentally and emotionally, and we're stressed out. And he says, pile it all on me. Y'all get that? All your troubles on God's shoulder, and he'll carry your load and help you out. He will sustain you. That's why I like the ESV, because it says he'll sustain you. What is the ideal of sustain? Hold you up so that we're not crushed under the load. He'll sustain you. Not just help you out, but he's holding you up to where this thing seems, even though it may be a tough situation. It may be something that we can't affect if we wanted to, but he will sustain us. He's going to help us and hold us up. And the truth is this, that's why some of us can keep on going. It looks as if, man, I don't know how they're going through that. I don't know how they're dealing with that. I don't know how that's been, I'm looking at what they're going through, but they keep on going. If I was them, we say, I would have been in Jamaica somewhere. I'd have been unquit and walked out or done something different. But anybody know God will sustain you? He'll hold you up. And some of the stuff that we've gone through would have taken the average person out. But God. Some of the stuff we've gone through with our job, with our children, with our health, it would have taken other folk out. But it was nobody but God that sustained us, that helped us to carry that load, and we became living testimonies, not of what we could do, but what God could do. And let me just throw this in for free. That's why we need to start testifying of the goodness of God. Because we didn't make it here by ourselves. We didn't, this ain't something, no, this is nobody but God. Hello, somebody. And we got to begin testifying and telling the world that if we're trying to convert folk and get them to understand who God is, we got to tell them our story. That God upheld us. Let me ask you this. If we're going to pile it on his shoulders, who got a stronger back? Do we have it, or does God got a stronger back? God does. Come, join up with me, come to me, give up control, and put all the load on me, and we'll carry that thing together. Hello, somebody. And so when we feel overloaded, when we feel stressed out, when we feel like we're going under, every time I feel that way, it means somehow, possibly, I've gotten detached from God's yoke. I'm not letting him carry that load. I'm so stressed out. I'm so overloaded. I don't know what to do. Pastor, I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't know what's going to happen. That means that somehow we done got detached from the load, from the yoke, because he helps us carry that load. Are y'all with me? Yeah. When I'm yoked up with Jesus, we move in the same direction. Hello, somebody. And at the same pace. When I'm yoked up with Jesus, we move at the same, in the same direction and at the same pace. If I'm falling off into a ditch, hello, somebody, I may not be yoked up with Jesus. I'm on my own. But if I'm yoked up with him, I'm going at the same pace. I'm going in the same direction. Are y'all with me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The ideal of that verse there, Romans 3:28, our lives are in step with God by letting him set the pace. That's the message. Here's what it says in the NIV. I mean the ESV. It says, for we hold that one is justified by faith apart from works of the law. In other words, our lives are in step with God that's how we're justified, not by works of our own, but by giving it to God. That's how we're justified. That's how we let him set the pace of our life. Are y'all with me? So if I'm out of pace, and that Galatians says, since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. So we gotta be in step with what the Spirit of God says. We got to release this to God. We got to cast all our burdens on him. And if we're not doing that, we out of step or out of pace with God. Because he's saying, I want to carry that. But you holding on to it. You trying to make a difference in it as if you actually could. Am I making sense? So we let him set the pace, and if we're setting the pace, it's probably the wrong pace. If we setting the pace, we want to get it done now, or we want to work it out as fast as we can. We setting the pace, but sometimes we didn't get into what we got into with this overload overnight. And sometimes it takes a while to get out of that. You don't get into financial challenges overnight. And we want to set the pace. I got to get this done. No, it take you. We didn't get in it overnight, and we're not getting out of it overnight. Life is more like a aircraft carrier than a sailboat. It takes a while to turn an aircraft carrier around. But a sailboat, you just go whoop. Are y'all hearing me? So the idea is we got to let him set the pace. Here's what we know. If you're not yoked up to Jesus, you're going to be yoked up to something. Right, Mister, you hear that? We're going to be yoked up to other people's expectations of us, of our parents, our boss, our society. Why not choose the easiest yoke? Because he says, my yoke is easy. The yoke are the expectations. I'm yoked up with what somebody else expects of me. Hello, somebody. That's not easy. Because I got to try to live up to somebody else's expectations of me. Are y'all hearing that? And if folk don't like you or can't stand you, if you're yoked up with Jesus, that's their problem. Hello, somebody. We ain't got to live up to other people's expectations of us. Amen. My yoke fits perfectly, and it's based upon your shape. Take my yoke. That's an exchange. That means I got to take off the one I've been carrying, and I got to exchange it for his yoke. Are y'all with me? Well, the world's expectations or what everybody else expects of you, put on the yoke of God. That's what he's saying. And the truth is, beloved, most of us don't have one yoke. We got a dozen yokes. We got a plethora of yokes we trying to hold up. And if that don't make us overloaded or stressed out, I don't know what would. No wonder we tired, trying to please everybody. Hello, somebody. We piling yoke on top of yoke, trying to please our kids, trying to please the spouse, trying to please the boss, trying to please all these other, and carrying all these yokes. And all that belong to God. If you got a boss that's gone 5150, the best thing you can do is give him to God. If you got children that have lost their mind, and they do, I've seen it firsthand. Hello, somebody. Got to give them to God. Are y'all with me? Jesus says, let's do an exchange. I'll take all of yours, and I'll help you carry that load together. We got to give up control. The answer is not escape, but it's giving up control. I cannot control all of this. I got to give it to him because he's got more power than I got. He's got more strength than I got. Here's number 4. Learn to trust. Learn to trust. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. Don't try to carry the load. Trust God. Don't try to. Some stuff we can't even understand. Can you? Some of the stuff that we are dealing with in life, you wonder, what is this? Have y'all ever wondered that?
Oh, yes.
What? Why now? You be looking at folk in your life, you be like, where does this come from? I mean, some stuff you go through and how people respond and do things, you don't fully understand it. Like, what's wrong with that? What happened? What? How am I am the object of your scorn. Why? And you can't put your finger on it. You don't know why. Well, you know such and such. No, I don't know. I'm trying to understand. You try to live right and eat right, and all of a sudden this health thing comes on, and you're like, what? I've done everything right. Seem like, and I don't understand why I'm going through what I'm going through. That's because there's some stuff we just can't understand. That was a song. Parents just don't understand. Who is that? Will Smith. This is online, so I'll leave that alone. Some stuff in life we just don't understand. It ain't just parents. There's stuff going on in our life we just don't understand. And so we got to learn to trust God. Learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest from your soul. Jesus is the model to live with peace and purpose. And so if we're going to refill our spiritual and emotional tank, it's to follow Jesus' example. Learn from me. Watch how he lived and do it the way he did it. Learn from Jesus. And please understand that learning from him is a process. Here's the sad commentary for all of us, is that if we've been walking with Jesus for a long time and we ain't learned nothing. That's like being in school. You 37 and you still in the 11th grade. And I ain't talking about nobody. I'm just saying, some stuff we ought to learn. I learned, what does that song say? I've learned how to live holy. I've learned how to live right. I had to learn that. I didn't just come learning how to do the right thing and live the right way. I had to learn it. And if we get to this place and you've been in church for a long time and connected to Christ and we haven't learned anything, something is wrong with our process of learning.
That's right. Amen. That's right.
He says, learn of me. And you got to choose a different way. If being sitting in the classroom trying to graduate from high school ain't working, you better get out of there and get a GED. You better join the military or something, because you ain't learning out of this way. You better be homeschooled or something. Figure out a way you can get it done, because you ain't learned nothing. And you can't graduate. Some stuff Paul says, I want to share stuff with you, but I can't because you're still drinking milk when you should have been eating meat. So he says, learn of me. Learn of me. And he says, learn of me. What do we learn from Jesus? He said, learn of me because I'm what? Gentle and humble. I'm gentle and humble. He didn't say, learn of me and I'll give you endurance. He said, learn of me, for learn that I'm gentle and I'm humble. I'm not trying to give you stamina to hang in there. Hello, somebody. I'm trying to get you to learn of me, learn how to be gentle, and learn how to be humble. And why is that so important? You're talking about this heavy load. You find rest for your soul. So he says, come to me, all you labor and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Learn of me, for I am meek, gentle, and lowly. I'm humble and I'm gentle. That's what you'll learn if you come to me. And that's what I need you to learn, how to be gentle and how to be humble. Why? Why is gentle and humble a key? Okay.
It's free and relax. Because if you know he's in control, why should you worry about it? If you're going to turn it over to Christ Jesus, then you should not worry. If you really turn it over to
Sure.
him,
Let him handle it. Here's the thing. The problem with the load is aggression and arrogance.
right. That's right. You want to hold on to it. Let him have it.
Aggression. We don't want, and that's on your outline. It should be aggression. We don't want to wait. I got to get it now. I got to get this done. I got to handle this situation. It's aggressive. We don't want to wait for anything. We don't want to pause for anything. We don't want to consider another way. Hello, somebody. We don't want to be patient for anything. We want to jump right in. And so he says, I need you to learn the opposite of aggressiveness, and I need you to learn how to be gentle. Because aggressiveness puts stress on us. I gotta get there. I gotta do this. I gotta handle this business. That's aggressive. That ain't giving it to him and learning how to be gentle through some of this stuff. We get mad at folk because we want to be great. They don't do what we want them to do. When you want, I told you before how to handle this, and I told you not to be trying, and you came to me, here you come again, asking me for some money. I wish somebody would help me. And I done told you how to handle it. You need to get your life straight. You need to get your life to God. You need to do such and such. We aggressive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And 9 times out of 10, some of y'all give them the money anyway.
I don't do it, Pastor.
After you done fussed at them. He said, we need to learn gentleness from him. That's the opposite of aggression. But arrogance is the other. The sign of arrogance, otherwise it says humble, because the opposite of humble is arrogance. We feel we can control it all. And sometimes ego is responsible for most stress in my own life. I think I can handle it. I think I can help. So I put myself out there, and then I'm stressed out. How many of y'all have ever put yourself out, and then you become stressed out with their burdens? Are y'all with me? Yeah. Some of the most stressful people I know are some of the most arrogant people I know. Because they're trying to handle that thing by themselves. And we need to remind ourselves every day that we're not God. And we're not everybody's Savior.
Amen. Say that again,
Matter of fact, we can't save anybody. I wish I could. Because I'd have put some people on the list automatically. Save them, God, please. Not right now, if I had the ability to do that. We are not God. This is what gets me with all these pastors who online and these bites, and they want to pastor the whole world. They're trying to get people to connect, and they want to pastor the whole world. I ain't taking that responsibility. I love what AJ doing, and we online and we out there, but that ain't my responsibility to pastor the whole world. This is the responsibility God has given me. I ain't carrying that load. I ain't arrogant enough to think I can pastor the whole world. They're like, welcome, Facebook family. And I'm waiting for you to log in. Some of them brothers and sisters be waiting for a long time. I'm waiting for you to log in. And they just be looking and waiting. Seem like they waiting forever before they log in. Like they pastoring the whole world. That's arrogance. I care about what the body of Christ is doing and what they're doing in other places and all of that stuff. I pray for certain pastors, but it is not my job to pastor the whole world. Somebody asked me, Pastor, when you going to do a conference? I said, I don't know. I don't see that. And I know there are principles that other folk can learn from what we've done and all that stuff. I get that. But call me. We can talk about it. I come do work. My job is not to pastor the whole world. We try to control all this stuff. And some of y'all listening to them sound bites and stuff, you don't know who they are. You don't know the integrity of their life. You don't know their theology or their doctrine. And you start sending these sound bites out to people. And then listen to the whole sermon. Hello, somebody. You know, we got to be careful about that. What did Jesus do? What was the secret of Jesus' peace? Over and over again in the book of John, 12 times in the book of John, he says, I only do what the Father tells me to do. Amen. Not arrogance says, I'm going to do what I want to do. Jesus says, I only do what the Father tells me to do. Nothing more and nothing less. And they both came up to him all the time. When you going to do this? Oh, when you going to do that? He had quips and he got at him real quick. No, that ain't what I came for. Are y'all with me? I only do. And so he says, follow his example, learn of me. So the aggression and the arrogance got to go out the window. We got to learn how to be humble and learn how to be gentle. We got to try trusting God. Hello, somebody. Since the Lord is directing our steps. Is that on your outline, Proverbs? Since the Lord is directing our steps, why not try understand? Why try to understand everything that's happening along the way? Since He is ordering our steps, and this is what ESV says: a man's steps are from the Lord. How then can we understand His ways? If God is ordering the steps, we don't have to understand it all. Hello, somebody. I don't have to carry this load if he's ordering my steps. I don't have to carry that. I ain't got to understand why they acting crazy. That's His job. Lord, they're yours. You gotta. I lift them up in prayer, but I can't carry that load. We can't try to figure it all out, right? You know, just trust God. We got to learn to what? Say it loud. We got to learn to trust God. That's Psalms 42, verse 3. When I'm ready to give up, He knows what I should do. Right. ESV, when my spirit faints within me, the psalmist says, you know my way. When I'm ready to quit and throw in the towel, He knows all. When I'm ready to give up, maybe somebody feeling that way, How do we do that? How do we learn to trust God? How do we trust God more? Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. How do we learn how to trust God? Is we got to stay in the book. Learn of me. Study to show ourselves approved, a workman that need not be ashamed. Learn of me. And know that I'm humble and gentle. I ain't trying to make you carry this load by yourself. Are y'all with me? Yeah, learn of me. So, number 5 is this. We're going to stop being aggressive and arrogant, trying to control everything. Here's what we got to do. Start every day by filling our tank. How you refill? Got to start every day by filling the tank. Every day. Every day has its own problems. So I got to start every day by refilling my tank. Every day. Are y'all with me? And we talk about this so many times, but we talk about the idea of having a quiet time with God. Start every day. And that verse that's there, find a quiet, secluded place so you won't be tempted to role play before God. Just be there as simple and honestly as you can, and the focus will shift from you into God. That's Matthew's account. Luke's account of this is when the disciples came to Jesus and said, Lord, teach us to pray. And he says, well, I'll tell you what to do. He says, go into your secret closet. Find a time where you can get alone with God. You get that? Teach us to pray. Find a secret place, a closet. Are y'all with me? And he says, and when you pray, don't pray like the hypocrites pray. They pray just to be seen. This is where you can be real with God. You got quiet time. You can be real with God. Don't be like the hypocrites where they pray just so somebody could hear them and say, oh, they can show enough pray. No, get in your closet, have some time with God. Away from the hustle and the bustle. Hello, somebody. Go into your room and pray. And I like the way the ESV says, go into your closet, shut the door. What is the ideal of shutting the door? Shut everything out. When can you get a time where you shut everything out and talk to God? Intimacy, it is. Anybody ain't around? I can say this, Brother Collins and Sister Collins can handle it.
Yes, sir.
When he want a kiss from her, he don't be all around y'all.
No, sir.
He wants. He don't want y'all. That's intimacy.
Right.
Hello, somebody. That's private time. We look out and say, y'all get a room, you know. But that's intimacy with God is personal and private. Yes. We get along with him. Am I talking to anybody? And we rushing through the day, trying to do our devotion while we're driving. No. Do we have any special alone time with God? We want him to carry this load. So I got to start my day with that because I don't know what today going to bring. I don't know the stress or the strain that I may have to experience that day, and I need to talk to somebody who can handle whatever's going to happen prior to it happening. I don't want to get out on the water like Peter and start singing, have to get an emergency prayer, and although God hears them, praise be to God, when I'm sinking, he hears those emergency prayers. But I want to be able to say, God, what I prayed about is here right now. We talked about this. What you going to do? Yes, yeah. Be still, know that I'm God. Yeah. The ideal of being still in that Psalms 46 is the essence of stop striving on your own. Stop trying to handle it. No, I'm God. You not. Stop trying to carry it. You ain't God. Because he's in that verse, he's talking about wars and calamities and all this other stuff in Psalm 46 that's happening. And he gets to that 10th verse and said, be still. Stop striving trying to figure all this stuff out on your own. I'm God. And in essence, he's saying, I'm God, you not. That's right. Let me handle this. Is that making sense? So we talk about it all the time. Here's what I want you to do. HWFW, HWLW. HWFW, write it down. HWLW. What do you think I'm getting at? His word, first word. His word, last word. His word, first word. His word, last word. I ain't closing out my day with the news. I'm going to close out my day with his word. I ain't going to open up my day on Facebook or Instagram or wordy or puzzles or whatever we play on our phone. I'm waking up with his word. First word, his word. Last word, his word. When I close my eyes, I'm trying to hear his word. And if I can't think of anything and I'm not at that place, I start reciting Psalms 23. The Lord knows I'm telling the truth. When I close my eye, I start reciting Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd. Are y'all with me? His word, first word. His word, last word. Because if the news is the last word, you're going to have some nightmares. If the news is the last word, you're going to have a troubling spirit trying to go to sleep. If Jimmy Fallon is the last thing you hear, or Jimmy Kimmel, or any one of them Jimmys, and nothing better than God's word at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. This is my violin. Y'all didn't know. This is my violin. I'm playing it right here. And why I'm saying that is because if you're doing that, good for you. But if you're not doing that, shame on you. Because it's that the word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my what? My pathway. The word is a lamp. It illuminates. It helps me to see from his perspective. The word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. I can see my way when I'm in his word. It may be dark, but God's word gives me the ability. Oh my God, I wish I could preach this like I feel it.
Go ahead, Pastor. Go ahead. We'll wait. Go ahead.
Anybody ever been in some dark situations?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It seemed like you can't see your way through.
That's right.
But even though we can't see it, God can. I always tell the illustration of a boy who was in the upper room and the fire was going on in the house, and the other people had gotten out, but except for that little boy, he was up in the window, and the smoke was going. His daddy was down there, said, "Jump, Jimmy, jump." He says, Daddy, I can't see you. He says, jump, Jimmy, jump. I can't see you, Daddy. I don't know where you are. He says, Jimmy, don't worry. You can't see me, but I can see you.
Amen. Right.
Y'all get that?
Oh, yes, sir.
We can't see our way, but God knows. All we got to do is, like Jimmy, is jump into the Father's arms.
Trust him.
That's trust.
That's trust, big time.
Jump, Patsy, jump. Woo. Jump, Brother Sloan, jump. Stay connected. Here's the sixth one. Stay connected to the spiritual family. Stay connected. That's how we refuel. Stay connected. We were never meant to live in isolation.
That's right. Amen.
And y'all know what I always say. Stay connected to your spiritual family. I ain't talking about stay connected to Pookie, Ray Ray, Mama, them, and Lil Earl. To your spiritual family. I mean, love Pookie, Ray Ray, Mama, them. And even try to love Lil Earl. Gotta love Lil Earl. As hard as it is to love Lil Earl. Mookie too. Mookie, Pookie, all of them. But we got to stay connected to the spiritual family. What's that Hebrews verse that's on there? 10, 20, 25. Forsake not the assembling of ourselves together, which is the manner of some, but encourage one another as we see the day approaching. That's what the spiritual family is about, is giving us encouragement that we need. When I'm overloaded and stressed, I don't need to be out of church. I need to be in church. One of the young brothers walked in my room the other day, and he was playing a sermon with somebody, and I started looking at it. He looked at me and he said, "You just love good preaching." I said, "I do." When they rightly dividing that word of God, that's better than sliced milk and buttered bread. I mean, I get when they are sticking with the text and preaching the book, it just sliced milk and buttered bread. Okay, buttered milk and sliced bread. Okay. I love being in worship. I love the songs. I love the fellowship. I love the worship. I love the preached word. And I don't have to be preaching it. Because that's where I get the energy from. And that's where we got to learn. We got to know where to refuel our tank. Sometimes they call Wednesday, not hump day. They call it hump day, but it is, some call it power hour, because you come back and you can refill. We need all of this. We need the fellowship of the saints. And so don't be like the habit of some. We run from church when we feel overburdened. Our brothers and sisters will help us refuel our emptiness. What's weighing you down? Problems with children, finances, aging parents. I got to go see my mama today. What's weighing you down? Health problems, post-COVID problems, whatever it is. Here's the amplified version, and I'm done. Here's the amplified version of Matthew 11:28. Here's what amplified says. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden and overburdened, and I will cause you to rest. I will ease and relieve and refresh your soul. Do y'all hear that? Yes. Take my yoke on you, partner with me, learn from me, for I'm gentle and humble in heart, and you'll find rest, relief, and ease and refreshment and recreation and blessed quietness for your soul. Doesn't that sound lovely?
Yes, sir.
He's amplifying certain words out of there. And I will ease and relieve and refresh your soul. Man. In this world going wrong, that's what we need day to day. We need relief, refreshment. And we need this burden off of us and placed on somebody who's got more power.
Yes.
Is that all right to say?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm done. So that's our memory verse. We're going to try to go through every day in our mind Matthew 11, 28 through 30. Come unto me, all you labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Learn of me, for my yoke is easy and light, and I'll give you rest for your soul. What a delight to be able to cast all this on us. Mother Herndon? Yes. That's it. So it's an exchange. Because we're carrying a yoke. Yoke of our kids, yoke of our health, yoke of a stress of our family, stress of issues in the world. We got a yoke. But he says, what I need you to do is take that yoke off and put my yoke on.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got to figure out a way. I'm done. We got to figure out a way to get that yoke somewhere where we can't see it. Out of the picture all the way. But 9 times out of 10, that yoke be laying right there. But we got to stop picking it up. What does the song say? All on the altar of sacrifice laid. We lay it all on his altar. We do not pick it back up when we lay it on that altar. We give it all to him. Number one's blank on which on. Okay, get fed up with how I've been feeling. Get fed up with how I've been feeling. I've been dissatisfied and trying to carry this. I'm overburdened. You got to get fed up with being overburdened. Brother Billy Williams, anything? All because we don't carry everything to God in prayer. Everything. Not some things, but everything to God in prayer. Brother Mitchell?
I think you can relate to this because you are somebody's father. I am a father.
Yes.
There's nothing like picking up the phone and one of my kids privately saying, Dad, I just called to tell you that I love you.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that level of intimacy that you were talking about here today, human beings cannot ever reach a level of intimacy higher than being alone with your father.
Right.
Call that home the first day.
Thank you. Sure. I agree. That's a good place to be. All right. I'm done for today. I shall see you Sunday. Is this first Sunday coming up?
Yes, sir.
Okay, first Sunday coming up. All right, amen. We got communion and other stuff. Brother Sloan say I got to wear a black tie on first Sunday. Else I'm going to get a letter. All right. Brother Billy Williams, close us in a word of prayer. Billy Williams is single, so if anybody looking, okay, Billy, okay.
Shall we pray? Father God, we come thanking you and praise you for being our God. We thank the time has come. We encourage the other men and women of God.
Yes,
We
Lord.
bring glory and honor to your name. We thank you for our pastor, how he taught us today to cast our cares upon you, for you care for us. Father, we thank you that we be in a relationship with you and help us learn to cast our care that you're a God who loves us. Now bless us that we might be a blessing to you and your people doing kingdom work. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. God bless you. We shall see you Sunday.